PC Scarlet. How you doing?
Weird.
Oh, excuse me, Freya. Sorry, I'm still waking up, but Freya, how are you doing?
We are thoroughly awake and ready to bring an amazing run.
See, I have a pot of coffee going, and I'm going to be doing some big chilling. So I'm really
awesome.
excited to check out this run. I'm a big fan of Touhou, but roll into this real quick. You have the incentive going for the choose character shot type, and that's $20 towards Marissa B.
We are going to get to see some Master Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we think we're about ready to start. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Have fun. Good luck.
So the first thing to say about this game is that all the stages are auto-scrollers, and there's bosses, and that's where all the speed tech comes in. Marissa, there are several different shot types. Reimu A has homing amulets. Marissa and Reimu B, both Marissa's and Reimu B, do not have any homing anything. And what you're going to see about Marissa B is that she has these lasers which kind of appear and disappear, so she actually has a weaker shot. She actually has a weaker main shot than Marissa A, which makes her a bit slower, but she has Master Sparks, which are the most powerful bombs in the game. So in the early stages of this game, these little P items are power-up items. You can see our power on the right. We're aiming to get about 70 by the end of level 1, with it, and by the mid-boss of level 2, hit 128 max. So the entire start of the game is just collecting power-up items as much as possible. Because better shot type, faster. So, getting into the Halloween mood, the story of this game is that a strange mist has appeared across the land, and now you're investigating. And at the end of the game, which we will not see because Easy cuts out the last level, is that it is a vampire, so this is definitely in the Halloween spirit. And these are yokai. All of the bosses are yokai, and yokai eat humans, so this is an excellent choice for a Halloween game. So we're going to try and chase around the boss just to target the bosses as best as possible. You notice that their health bars get some armor at some points.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so now we get to see the Master Spark in action.
Nice.
The most powerful bomb in the game, lasts forever. Just really powerful.
Very nice, good job.
So this is a stage where we can actually take a death if we just randomly ram into something, which definitely happens. So we have to be a bit careful. At the same time, we will very easily get our 1 credit clear. So one thing to note about this game is that your bombs, you get 3 bombs per life. A lot of other shooters end up with just giving a set of bombs per continue, but this actually gives 3 bombs per life. So every bomb counts in a speedrun. So the main thing to go fast is to make sure that you never die without a bomb. And we're also going to be taking some intentional deaths at times when it won't cost us any time, as best we can, and that's how you go fast.
Is that for bomb usage, or?
Yes, intentional deaths to refill our bomb counter.
Nice.
And now we have the point of collection. We're at full power, which means that we can just dive to the top of the screen, and we'll grab all the point items and all the point power items that are spawned, and we'll get them at their maximum point value, which is 100k each. The point items are important because you get extra lives at 10, 20, and 40 million, and every extra life is some extra bombs. So this is Cherno. Cute little ice fairy. Wonderful creature.
Shout out to Cherno.
And now this is a spell card. You can see there's a name on the top right of the screen, in this case Icicle Falls, and we're going to be bombing every single spell card in the game.
Goodness gracious.
So we do want to get 40 million points by the end of the game, and We don't have to be super aggressive to get that, and if anything, we're going to be too aggressive about diving it, and are likely to lose a life or two. And that's just something which happens. That bomb lasts for a long time. It doesn't quite pack the punch that Marissa A's bomb does, which makes us a little bit slower. But it's all good fun. In marathon setting, it's wonderful to have variety. So when you're going, whether you're playing for a speedrun or a one-crit clear, you always just memorize where the enemies spawn. We really recommend EOSD as a starting point, because the stages have much less memorization than a lot of the other games. And so we think it's much more accessible for first learning. Memorization definitely still helps, but you're not going to die if you don't have it memorized. And there's our first extra life at 10 million.
Very nice.
So this stage is going to have Hong Ling as a boss. She is just a kind of a side character that doesn't really show up anywhere else. As we get further on, we'll get closer and closer to the main characters who repeatedly show up in the series. You can also see that our attack is really spread, and that's going to slow us down a bit versus Marissa A. So as she moves around, we're going to try and track her as best we can. And there we go. We're just going to unleash the Master Spark on her. And here's a 1-up. You get a 1-up for the mid-boss of stages 3 and 5. And that's just common to Touhou, every Touhou game. And if you're going to be speedrunning this game, you definitely have to memorize them when you can dive to the top of the screen for point items. Oh no, okay, so we want to... Okay, that was an intentional death because we were out of bombs. We really want to be at full bombs by the end of the stage. And this is not great. We died too late, so we're not at full power on the boss. So that's unfortunate. But it doesn't cost that much time. Rainbow Wind Chime is one of the prettiest spell cards in the game. You saw a little bit of it there. It's unfortunate. Actually, you will get to see a decent amount of it because it has so much health. Just one of our favorite spell cards in the game. So pretty.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Okay. We were trying to do something new and faster there. Did not work. It's okay. We have extra lives. In a marathon setting, we basically plan for a death. For 1 or 2 deaths, accidental deaths. Which could definitely be avoided, but not avoided while going fast. And this is another spell card. The one unfortunate thing about the run is that we're just going to be bombing our way through all the spell cards, which means that you just don't get to see many of them. And that's the end of stage 3.
Nice. Is it okay if I squeak in a donation real quick, Freyas?
This is a great time for a donation.
Awesome. Perfect. We have a donation from Mario Mike, who's going to actually be running on the next block playing some Earthbound, saying Cecil is trying to blame Leviathan, but we all saw what happened, putting $12 towards the incentive for naming Cecil in Final Fantasy IV Sussel. Thank you very much.
So in this stage, you're going to see lots and lots of bullets everywhere to shut up at these things. The trick is that they're all just targeted. That they are all targeted exactly where you are, so you can just wander away from around them, and then you're fine. Each time one of these fairies dies, everything on the screen will clear. So killing the fairies to kill are basically a resource that you manage. And we are being more aggressive than we probably should be. These are books. Books are awful. This is on easy, the easiest of 4 difficulties. On higher difficulties, the bullets are much more dense, moving much faster, and just a nightmare. So you're going to see here, if we hold down shift, we actually focus and we move slower. You're going to see in a lot of places that we're holding shift.
Very nice.
We just let go of shift, briefly to make a quick dodge to the side.
That's very clean.
And that's a technique that you very much so master as you play
How
more and
long
more
have
of
you
these
been
games.
running this?
I think the story of how we started speedrunning this was we figured that this would be an easy side game to pick up and submittable to marathons. We did one run, submitted to ESA, and got in, and so we think we've been speedrunning it for maybe 6 months.
Oh wow, wonderful. Absolutely.
And we think this isn't a game that we really want to grind out or take seriously. This is just a fun run that we can show off at marathons.
Absolutely. That makes complete sense. Yeah,
It's really nice to have side games like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, these games require a lot of skill, a lot of focus as well. That's why, while you're playing, I'm staying very quiet, but like you definitely are just showcasing so much skill during this run.
And these right here, these are definitely things that we have memorized. We have 1 credit cleared this game on normal. And to give an idea of how difficult this game is, we'd say that a 1 credit clear of normal is probably about the same difficulty as getting Grandmaster in Tetris.
Oh wow, really?
So this is really, really easy mode, and there's a huge gap between easy and normal. And you can see that we've already hit the 40 million points.
Right.
We're actually doing amazingly in lives. We can start double bombing spell cards now.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is really,
there should be.
really
Oh,
impressive.
oops. We're trying to use a safe spot right next to her. We didn't think about it until too late, and so there goes one of our lives, and that's okay. That was a pretty bad time to actually take that hit. Now we can show off the safe spot. There's a bunch of fun safe spots in a game like that you kind of have to memorize. But you can also do completely fine without memorizing it. So we're just going to start double bombing it. You can see enemy 1 at the top left, now enemy 0. That is how many life bars they have left. So we can't actually bomb this because, double bomb this because we don't have an extra bomb, and we would lose time. That death was fine because we had no bombs. We really would have preferred to have that death a little bit later, because especially while talking, there's a good chance that we're just going to die during this stage. It's not hard, but there's a lot of micro dodges that have to be done. You're going to see that we're just going to kind of sit around in the bottom left. And there's just going to be a bunch of very random bullets everywhere. The big ones are all targeted, so those are really, really easy to dodge. As you're playing this, you very quickly learn to tell which ones are targeted and which ones are not. Because the ones which are targeted, you can just quickly tap to the side and dodge. The ones which are not, the ones which are targeted, and random, you are much harder to dodge, because they're less predictable. And here you see Sakuya, made with a ton of knives. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful knives everywhere. She is made of time, with time powers and knives. It is she is amazing. One of our favorites.
I see you have a question in chat. What controls canceling all bullets on screen? Is it clearing a wave or a certain enemy type?
It is either using a bomb or getting to full power. And you can only get to full power once per life. And during the bosses, getting it to 0 HP also does that. Each attack has a certain amount of HP, and each life bar typically has 1 non-spell, and somewhere between 0 and 2 spell cards. And you can see, and you can tell where the spell cards are because the life bar starts going down is much shorter and goes down much slower.
Freyas, this is really impressive.
We're glad you like it. So we're actually going to try bombing this. we do. Yeah, we were afraid that our previous test showed that it didn't really work because there's just too many bullets on screen, and the bomb clears the bullets out before it starts actually damaging the boss. But we have a ton of extra bombs left, so we're just gonna bomb as much as we can here. So we're gonna try and take an intentional death at the very end of this non-spell, while the next spell card has Okay, we'll take an accidental death a little bit earlier. That's fine too. So this is the final hit health bar. When this gets to 0, it's time.
Oh, very nice. With that, I'm gonna squeak in a donation real quick. You have $9 from Absurd Bird with no comment, but thank you very much. Not only that, I would like to say there are a couple of incentives coming up for Mile Mike's run, playing some Earthbound that are about to close out very, very soon here when he starts. So please check those out if you want to get into the last donations from me and the party.
And time.
Great job, GG. That is so
GG.
impressive.
This is always a really, really fun run to show off, and something that's just really, really chill to do. And we're happy that we get to show it off here. We are feeling awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Brilliant job. Do you have anything you want to close out with?
Just that Touhou is a really, really awesome series. It's really, really fun to play. And if you're going to play, we'd start with Touhou 6, Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. It's a game which is we'd say it's much simpler to pick up than any of the other games. Because it doesn't use any weird mechanics, it's just a basic shooter. And yeah, so we would highly recommend it. And we'd be happy to teach anybody if anybody's interested. So yeah, thank you so much, and we hope that you all enjoyed it.